You correcting them only goes so far. What they need to start doing is correcting themselves. For example, with written work, you can highlight the types of mistakes they make, whether it's a spelling mistake, punctuation, whether it's a grammar mistake, using the inappropriate words. You can highlight those types of mistakes and then ask the student to go back and correct it themselves.
If I identify some errors that seem to be common for several students in the class, I then write my own paragraph and include some of their mistakes. And I give this paragraph to them, and in groups ask them to collaborate and find and correct as many mistakes as they can. So I find this kind of is a good way to direct them to finding the mistakes themselves. And after they've worked in groups as a class, we will go through all the corrections together and come up with the corrected, fully edited text, and then I give them back their own texts and ask them to look to see if they've made any similar mistakes and to try to correct them.
I believe that error correction can seamlessly blend in with the flow of any course. This is especially true for teachers willing to create new materials based on the mistakes that students have already made. Technology makes this so much easier because now it's easy to pick out mistakes and create a quiz or any kind of multimedia activity where students can have fun and also recycle and practice again what they have already done.
With speaking, what I've started doing recently is asking students to record themselves doing speaking tasks and then reviewing their own performance or doing peer reviews of recorded performances. Students are often very self-critical in these, but it does highlight to them the kinds of mistakes they make when they're speaking.
If we are going to correct the learners on the spot, then I think a very effective way is to first ask them to repeat what they said, because this gives them the opportunity to self-correct. If they repeat what they said and the error remains in what they said, at this point it's good to ask the other learners if they can spot the mistake, see if they can peer correct.
What I will say is that I don't think that echoing what the student says is very effective, unless we do it with the kind of intonation that makes it clear that we're trying to elicit a self-correction. I also think that we need to be careful about recasting or reformulating what the student says. Research strongly indicates that most of these kinds of corrections go straight over the top of the students' heads. They just don't notice they're being corrected.
Finding the mistakes themselves.
Encourage self-correction.
To self-correct.
Correcting themselves.